live music works. There's a booking agent and this booking agent network with other booking agents to bring bands together who they think would make a good package for the venues to tour. And so we really don't have we really don't have much say in any of it. Luckily, for the most part, we end up touring with some really great bands and really talented folks, and this tour is no different.
Now, you guys, since you tour constantly, do you guys ever get a chance to work on any new material or get anywhere to do any recording, or how does that work with you guys being on the road so much?
Well, I'm always writing. It's something that I can't really shut off. It's something that I don't want to shut off either. With respect to your earlier question, I mean, it sort of helps the passage of time and to keep busy and to use this time not to indulge in these sort of rock star fantasies that don't really exist anymore. But it's more of a time for me to focus completely on writing and creating either new songs or new stories or whatever it is that has grabbed my fancy at the moment. When we go into writing a record, it's usually a very strong collaborative effort between myself and the bass player, Evil J, and whoever else we have in the room with us at the time. But for the most part, he and I are the foundation, and luckily we have such great chemistry creatively that we can usually lock right in immediately.
Now, OTEP is going to be returning to the Blue Goat July 16th. We're speaking with OTEP today. I know the last time that we chatted, that we talked for Jiggy Jag TV, and afterwards we kind of chatted a little politics. I would love to get your thoughts on this BP oil spill thing, if you've got a few moments.
Well, sure, absolutely. I think that I think we're on day 80 of, and it's pumping, hundreds of thousands of gallons into our oceans, and you can actually watch a live stream of the busted pipe just erupting all these toxins into our water, and see the slow murder of our planet, and witness not very much being done about it. I've asked to boycott BP, and I know that there's some people that don't agree with me because they think that some of the independent stores will suffer. Well, they chose to buy the brand of BP, and they can choose to buy another brand of oil or gas or whatever their supplier is, Exxon, Chevron, whoever. But that really doesn't solve the problem. What solves the problem is us getting off of fossil fuels, getting away from petroleum altogether. I think that the feeling of frustration, of irritation, of agitation, of seeing these animals, these poor innocent animals, who are suffocating in this sticky goo, and that reports of BP burning endangered sea turtles alive because they are stuck in these massive islands of oil floating on the surface of the water. When they're doing their burn-offs, they don't allow the wildlife folks to come in and retrieve or save or even try to salvage the animal. They just burn them alive. That sort of crime shouldn't be allowed or tolerated by anybody, whether you're an animal rights activist or you're just a person that has any sorts of feeling for nature at all. What we have to do is we have to understand that we are addicted to petroleum in this country, plastics, that's made from oil, our cars run on oil, and, everything, jet fuel, everything comes from oil. We have to make a concerted effort in this country to remove the lobbyist power from our government because of how deep the oil companies have their hands in the pockets of our politicians. And I don't blame the politicians. I really don't. It's for being so greedy, for taking their money, It's like being angry at a shark for biting your leg if you're in the ocean. It's just the nature of who they are.
Yeah.
It's the nature of what they are. People that go into politics, the majority of them seem to have a fetish for power and also a sort of selfish need for this narcissistic, altruistic sociopathy, where they want to do good for their country, perhaps, but at the same time they want to make sure that they are well rewarded for their efforts. Gone are the days of those people who get into civil service for the greater good. You don't see that. Maybe you see that with firemen or people that join the military.
Yeah.
You'll see soldiers who have done that. But politicians, I don't see it. And I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But what we have to do as a people is we have to take small steps. First things you can do is recycle. I mean, it sounds very tree hugger, Greenpeace, but if you want to stick it to the oil companies and the people that manufacture petroleum products. Stop buying them. Use alternative ways. Stop using so much gas. Walk, ride a bike. I know it's hot out, but at this time we have to make tough choices and certain sacrifices in order to win our country back. And I long for the days when we no longer hear the news reports or the protesters in the streets saying that this was a war for oil. I want to hear the outrageous statement that this was a war for solar power or it's a war for wind power. I mean, you're never going to hear that. I want to see wind turbines on every mountain in every state in the nation. I'd like to see the deserts of Arizona, New Mexico, and the outlands of Texas, covered in solar panels. And the same goes for California. I would love to see, again, wind turbines and other sort of water-powered electrical manufacturing in places like Seattle, who get rain 300 days out of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's common sense ways of defeating this, of not giving our money to oil companies, which then go overseas to places like Saudi Arabia, where a lot of that money ends up going into the hands of our enemies. And if you believe that we are in a war on terror every time you fill up your car, you're feeding that beast.
Yeah.
So as a country, as a nation, we have to decide, you know what, I've had it. I want American jobs. I want American energy. I don't want to see one more job go overseas. I don't want to see one more dollar go overseas. And this isn't going to be an overnight fix. We have to really understand that as well. Patience happens, and maybe perhaps we need a gas tax. We don't tax the gas companies. We don't tax these oil and gas companies. So maybe perhaps we do. And you know what? Maybe that makes gas a little bit more expensive. But then again, that money that we're earning in tax dollars, maybe that money is funneled back into the working class for tax breaks, so that we're no longer stuck renting apartments or going to the tote-a-note car lots. That we can actually get a little bit of money in our pockets, start saving for the house, start saving for the kids' education, and living the American dream, which is what the middle class is supposed to be. It's not just supposed to be Paris Hilton and the upper class and the Kardashians and what we see on TV. It's not supposed to be the folks that are good, hardworking people who have lost their jobs or who may need to get some type of social assistance.